Okay, I thought the guy at the desk was going to be Fox, but it seems like that's somebody that they shot and killed. That's it. Headmaster shot and killed. Hey everybody, Theta here, back again with another Stoneface Reactions and episode 2 of Infinite Ryvius. Also, I hope I'm saying that name right. I've never heard it said before. I don't even know if, did they say it in the show? I don't think they have. Anyway, that said, I'm going to bring up the board, because obviously I've done a board. And I'm going to leave that on screen for a moment, because I have a comment. Master Detective from the Patreon, only episode they could be referring to, the forthcoming time. What a pick! I think you'll get some good discussions out of this show, and the board will be fascinating. That's why I want to read the comment first. Also, I'm glad that somebody immediately jumped out and said, hey, this is a good show, because, you know, I have my worries. I made the show pick based on nothing, so good to know that I have my forethoughts out there. Yeah, so what I've tried to do here is put people into the associated categories. I'm gonna zoom in here on these guys specifically for a moment. Back alley group. I named them that specifically for. Oh, I did not order this thing right. That's not that one. Where did I put it? Okay, here it is. This image. These people are picked from this image alone. I think we see what's his name? Airs Blue. Airs Blue later on like a zoom in pick, but I put them on the board specifically from this. I can't use my mouse as a pointer to show you what I'm talking about, but obviously Airs Blue is the guy in the middle and the back because he's got the bandana and the hairstyle. The guy. I did not think about how I was going to do this hard enough because you can't see the board and what I'm talking about at the same time. So, let's see. Green-haired girl. Focus on her in this image. Uh, girl to the right of Airs Blue with the low-cut top. And I think I'm looking at the guy crouched next to him. Alright, if you remember those 4 people, boom, the board again. Airs Blue, that green-haired girl to his left, low-cut top girl to the right, and guy who's crouching right next to him. I don't know who any of them are yet, except for Airs Blue, because he gets name dropped. I think I have this in my note, but I'm gonna leave this here just in case while it's uh, pertinent. If they say any part of a character's name, I have no problem putting their full name up on the board. That's just a rule that I go by in board creation, so take that as you will. Otherwise, we have Pat Campbell, somebody the little kid that obviously his dad here was talking to, that I said obviously his dad was going to die because that seemed like a thing. Let's see. This kid was the one who is badgering Oze about the test results thing in the place where they were all together. I know that's not a really good description. I'm just like mind blanking whilst I'm trying to describe these places. It's a room that literally Yuki has a fight with this guy who they're on the team together with, and Koji is like, hey, if you're not happy with your teammate, you can just make another team. You don't have to stick with that guy. That room where they have that whole fight in, that's where this guy shows up. Let's see. Aoi is Koji's best friend from back home. Told their mother that she would keep an eye on Koji and Yuki. Obviously, I put a little red line between Koji and Yuki because of that last scene where Yuki is literally fighting with Koji about not opening a door and saving some people. Like, they've already come to blows. It seems like a hostile relationship to me already. Let's see. O's is the same team as Koji, friendly with him, obviously. He has a relationship with Izumi. I know this picture isn't the same picture that looks like her from the show, but it's the picture that they use on behind the voice actors. So just know that she is that waitress girl. I don't know how to else describe her. I have notes about this, but just keep in mind that's why they had the purple line. They are clearly in a relationship. She didn't even go home because she was upset that he was indicating that she should go home. Let's see. There's that girl that Yuki broke up with. Like she said, she slaps him, but then she says he dumped me. So I'm kind of uncertain about that relationship. Same as this guy. They're upset with Yuki, but I don't know where they stand. Mysterious purple girl. No fucking clue. That's why she's not tied to anybody. And the Y crew, which was the higher tier training crew that we saw the other guys watching on the cameras throughout the episode, who then take charge of the station as they find out that the actual crew is like knocked out. We got everyone's names except for this guy who was very evident throughout the entire thing. He's like not talking, but constantly typing. He's doing his job. Hairdo. He is, I don't know. He's just a guy. But anyway. So yeah, that is the board as it stands, and I'm gonna lean out here a little bit. If you guys notice anybody that I've missed who certainly appeared to be a character in the first episode, or of course this episode by the time that it releases, let me know. I don't want the board to miss anybody, and obviously I've watched the show or will have watched the show twice, so if it gets by me on a double viewing, let me know if I missed somebody. Don't tell me why they're important, or also don't tell me what the relationship is, because I want to figure that out too. Just let me know if I've missed somebody. I would hate to have missed somebody, because if I fail to realize what the relationship is after I've missed them, that's something completely different. Leave that up to me, though. Alright, though, I did also have some notes. So I am going to go over some of these notes, and I'm going to put that up there. As per normal board making rules, if any character says a part of another character's name, it is fine to put their full name on the board. We just do not use that information for anything else. No spoilers, no cheating, as always. If you ever heard me go off about lessons when lessons wikis something, that's the rule. Don't wiki anything, don't look anything up, no spoilers, no cheating. And if you're wondering where do I get the names from then, if I'm not doing any of that, again, it's behind the voice actors, which is how you find out who's voicing what characters and whatnot. It is also a good repertoire or a repository of character images, right? So I can get the character image, I can get their name, don't know anything else, and that's all I'm asking for. Koji and Yuki's mom is named Ritsuko, according to the plaque in front of their home. Pointedly, though, they are the only three names there, implying their father is either dead or just no longer with them. Considering that I expect this to be a character interaction heavy show, I don't know yet if that is information that was given as a visual cue or as something to look out for later. Koji later says his parents pay his way and not the singular parent. Might mean a divorce situation where the dad is still supporting the kids. Not sure. Again, they took our attention and put it at the plaque specifically, so I'm just wondering, was there a reason for it? I'm still sort of confused as to what planet we are at. The opening of the show showed us Koji heading to Tokyo Airport, and the pre-opening pan back then showed us the planet and space the rest of the episode takes place in. Koji refers to the colored gas substance as the Sea of Gadold, so my previous guess of the planet being Gadold is obviously wrong. It still leaves me to wonder if this is Earth. Then where did the Sea of Goduld come from? I mean, also I didn't write this down. I guess I should have, but I'm assuming we're not going to go into time travel. The element of they said what was the year? 2225? Something like that. It's far future. So maybe 200 years in the future. So anything could have happened. Like the fact that what's his name? Oze. Oze is from Jupiter, right? Implying that the rest of the solar system is colonized. So it could be a different planet, or it could be something bad happened in orbit of Earth. I don't know. The opening showed everyone holding out their palms and light beams shooting out of them towards this mysterious character in purple, as though they were Goku absorbing spirit energy, or a Captain Planet type figure. That is just one of my notes. It's not like I'm pointing anything out. I guess to be fair, they kind of do that in the original 1979 Gundam opening as well, where Amuro and everyone holds their hands to the sky, so maybe it doesn't mean anything at all. Ser is a word that keeps showing up that I'm unsure as to its meaning. The episodes use it for their numbering, kind of like how Gundam Seed uses phase instead of episode. The difference is that the characters also refer to Ser limits as well. The word Ser means dry or withered, but that doesn't seem applicable. The only other definition I could see applying would be the acronym Survival, Evasion, Resistance, and Escape. But even that seems far-fetched when these kids are training to be navigators. And yes, if you realize by now, yeah, I'm trying to deep dive every little element of the show I can, so that when the show gets more in-depth itself, or rather, when the show lays everything out, I'll have all the details with which to like try and scour the meanings of everything. There's some shows that we've watched, namely like say Jujutsu Kaisen, where the first time around I didn't pay enough attention, so that when shit started to get revealed, I was like so lost. So that's where I'm trying to come from here. I don't want to get lost later on when things actually become complicated. Oh, here's another note on stuff. So you have to pay each time you take the navigator's test, and it takes an average of 7 times to pass, apparently. That was just a note between Koji and Oze, in that they thought Oze was going to be rich because he's from Jupiter. And, you have to pay every time you fail, so you're really incentivized not to fail monetarily. Oh, and here's my next note. Koji thought Ikumi was rich because he came from Jupiter. We'll have to see that if that is a stereotype that plays with other characters as well. Because again, if this is a character interaction heavy show, then the fact that everyone might think this guy's rich might then also play into sorry, I'm not thinking of the words here, an animosity towards the rich sort of situation. I don't know. I'm thinking that'll become more clear if it happens, and then I'll be like, oh, this is the thing I was talking about. If not, then it's not even worth going into. So navigator rankings work in reverse order. The higher the number, the lower the rank, meaning Koji was at least a third level before the start of the show. The bearded guy in the oncoming ship says that and that's obviously somebody I'm missing from the board, by the way. He seems to be very important, and I made a note about him, didn't put him on the board. The bearded guy in the oncoming ship says the target is the astronaut training center of Libra Delta, which is, of course, the station all of our characters are on. I incorrectly labeled him as the guy that knocked out the command crew in the first episode, which couldn't be since he's not on the station to do so. Still, he's clearly looking the antagonist role, saying he is going to make up for a mistake from long ago. He even seems to be staring outside at the silhouette of our mystery purple character. which I guess also implies, now that I'm thinking about it, that our mystery purple character can teleport around. Well, I guess that feels implied too by the episode that she's in, because she is saying stuff and teleporting around into different people's rooms and different parts of the station. So I guess her teleporting out into deep space to say something, or I mean to appear in front of that guy's window, wouldn't be as different. Still, what are they doing in deep space or that deep in the adult? I don't know. So, the station was supposed to go into the Sea of Gadult, as Pat's father said. So, whatever goes wrong at the end of the episode was clearly meant to make something planned look like an accident. At the same time, no clue what it's about. The kids have a conversation about going home for the dive holiday, making it sound like this is a routine thing. When the crew drop the pillars, we see them getting crushed and breaking apart. Does that mean that this is where all the debris in the Gadult comes from? Do they rebuild the station every year to create the debris for the students to test with? Also, two guys give evil looks and then leave the bridge. Then we see them pushing a cart past the kids later in the episode, obviously the people that were responsible. Have to think the crate was responsible for the gas that knocked out the control room, maybe connected to the bearded guy? Oh, obviously my next thought, I should have put this all together. Bearded guy says that they will pick up Fox and the others, but we've seen two guys in action so far, so no telling which one was Fox and how many others there are to be picked up. Also, they are getting something called Bratica, and my first thought was that they were calling the purple person Brat and adding Ica like a sci-fi thing to do. Though there was a scene with the purple person standing in front of what looked like a device or a craft blurred out in the background. Could be a thing, too, since they appear all over the ship. And by they, I mean the purple person, not the craft, obviously. I'm still super confused by the women on the crew. Aoi implied she was going to the same school and course as Kauji, and yet she comes around serving as a hostess. That star student from the Zwei crew ends up getting everyone drinks, just like Aoi. I have to wonder if it's just the sexism of the 60s on display. The same kind of thing where only women could be flight attendants. And yes, I know this is a show from 1999, but typically when you're theming these shows, you tend to theme them on a certain era, so people act like they were from that era. I don't know if that's what's going on. It's just weird. I think I pointed out as it was happening during the episode, but what the fuck is going on? Why are all the women serving drinks? Aoi and Koji really feel like they have an Amuro and Fraw relationship from Gundam, at least from the start. Except that Koji is definitely more of a 90s character archetype than Amuro could have been. And I think that more so from the fact that Amuro is from 1979. So obviously he could never have been a 90s archetype unless they were really thinking ahead when they were making him. And the fact of how annoying he turns out to be most of the time could not possibly have been. Alright, I promise you, last note. I have to think at this point that the mysterious purple character is asking why Koji thinks he can save anyone and what makes Yuki think he's so great. But given the perspective of them talking to themselves in completely different rooms to the characters they seem to be talking about, in addition to the unknown abilities of the character themselves, vis-a-vis the image of them floating in the most hostile part of space before, there is just no telling yet. So, like, we don't know what this character is about. We don't know why they would be talking to anybody. We don't know if this could be a subversion of them just talking out loud and we think that they're talking about what's happening. Like, it could be happening at a completely different time as well. Like, I would, I say I wouldn't be surprised. I would, in fact, be amazed if this was the case that they are, in fact, Sorry, I'm having a thought that I don't know if it applies to anything. Um, I'm throwing out this idea, and if this happens, I assure you I have not watched anything. I hope that all my questions I just asked would assure you that I have not watched anything. What if, I'm just throwing this out as a what if this purple person is the last person left? What if we're not watching a show being shown to us in chronological order? What if the bearded guy is on a rescue team out to save these people, and our purple person is the last one left alive? And what we're seeing with the purple person is them at the end of the show, and they're asking these questions about the people that died, and they're sole survivor, right? So they're asking why Yuki thought that he was so great after he's dead. They're asking why Koji thought they could save anybody after he's dead. Didn't save anybody. I don't know. For some reason, my sci-fi like switch got turned on in my brain. I'm like, oh, what would make this the most interesting thing of all to me? And never mind. I'm thinking out loud. That doesn't explain seeing them floating in space. That doesn't explain that. All right, never mind. For a second there, I thought that would have been super interesting. That this character is not actually some mysterious thing that is just floating around the ship that we're gonna meet. But what if they're the sole survivor, and the entire show is them remembering everything that happened, and then at the end they're gonna get rescued? Anyway, that's clearly not happening because it doesn't explain why they're floating out in space unless it's not a memory thing and they're dead at the end and they cover the dead body in space. Anyway, no, that can't be it. Can't be it. If it is it, don't tell me. But yeah, I think that's all of the pre-show discussion I had from the episode 1. So let's go ahead and see what episode 2 is all about. Oh, okay. Are we going to explain the Sea of Gadol? Yeah, that's what we're doing.
ゲドルトフェノメン、太陽から地球の公転軌道に対してほぼ水平に噴出した巨大フレア。高温と高重力渦巻くその内部構造は80年以上経った今でも謎のままだ。太陽系、ゲドルトによって活動。
I'm surprised it didn't like eliminate all life on Earth.
俺たちは今ここにいる。
That's cool. See, I was worried for a moment that they were going to say something about exploring other star systems, like, and then the year such and such, and we found a wormhole or something. Given my whole thing about, I didn't know if this was Earth or not. And here we go. That's the answer. That is Earth. Also, the guy with the weird haircut was right there in the opening, too. Like I said, there's a lot of elements of this that I feel like. See, that's Pat, and that's the real advanced girl. But Pat's dad isn't in the opening. Oh, there's the light thing I was talking about before as well. That should be like Captain Planet. I hope it's not an element of the adult gave people weird powers. Oh, that was the beard guy. I was about to say the beard guy's not in the opening. That was like beard guy in a suit. Also, we haven't met the ferret yet. And yes, I understand the whole I don't show the opening on YouTube and you guys are going to see what the hell I'm talking about, and I apologize for that. There's not much I can do about it. I believe that's my his name was Stein.
このままゲドルトに溶かされるの？
その可能性は極めて高いと思う。
ヘイが実習じゃないんだ。冷静に言わない。
Steinhager, I think is his name.
こういう時こそ
黙れ、理屈や。
早く決めてくれ、ユイ。そうだ、主席だろ。
でも、そんなこと言われても。
何か手はないのかよ。しかし、財布上のエネルギー。
To be fair, she was making calls earlier.
無理だよ、先生もいないのに。僕は死んじゃうんだ。仕方がない。やはり私が指揮を。
リーベデルタの限界振動確認。悪海までの時間を算出して。
嘘だ。悪海までの時間を算出するんだ。落下ハーシェルのデータもしっかり取っておけよ。
それはやってる。そうか。それなら。
第50、51。
So remember, this was still a student group.
区域のブロックをオートに切り替えて。コントロールを中央から。
So literally working as a team is what they were basically learning to do. So it makes sense they're not that good at it.
シア3、45。これで残り時間が出せるはず。
来た。
回して。
早くするんだ。
リーベデルタ悪海まであと14時間17分。
Yeah, you could host a whole season in 14 hours.
脳みそ腐ってんのかよ、兄貴。こんな時でもいい人気取りやがって。
So they didn't save the person?
ムカつくんだよ。偽善者すぎて笑えねえぞ。このクソ野郎。
I'm confused. There's only 2 of them in the airlock.
お前らも死にたくなきゃ早く逃げるんだな。
Okay, he ran away. Never mind.
もう大丈夫よ。揺れは収まったから。心配しなくていいの。さ、おいで、ラフラ。
さっきの音は何だったんだ。さあ、教官たちがミスったんじゃないの。柱ぶつけたとかさ。
Again, the whole adult descent thing is being treated like a holiday.
待ってなさい。ほら。
チェ、すぐ仕事って。
そう言うなよ。終わったらパーッと遊んでやるから。ま、ともかくおとなしくしてる。
Again, it's death flag after death flag with this guy.
行ってくるから。
いってらっしゃい。
なんだよこれ。お前、勝手にソースかけただろ。
もうやだ、やめてよ。
なんでだよ。
ダメだったらダメでちゅ。
And remember that, people. No means no. Just in case you need to hear that from somebody.
外壁が壊れてるみたいなのに放送もない。ねえ、イクミたち大丈夫かな。平気よ。勇気が言ってくれたんだから。うん、平気。
勇気のやつ。
Oh, he did convince them not to save those people.
早く上の区画行こう。状況がわかんないと対処できないし。おい、イクミ、聞いてんのかよ。待ってた。きっとあの向こうで俺が来るのを何にもできないなんて。何にも。まただ、クソ。また。
Did Yuki convince them, or did the life signs stop?
人が生きられない世界だ。だから俺たちは割り切らなきゃいけない。お前もあいつと同じこと言うのかよ。そんなことはもう起こってほしくない。そのために俺たちは技術を学んでんだろ。すげえよ。
It's also pretty evident that they're trying to hide their relationship with one another. Koji and Yuki, I mean.
イクミ、今を考えろよ。早くしよう。 ここのグラプ値も上昇している。
I'm guessing that's the equivalent of like radiation.
ごめんね。ちょっと待っててね。
How would that stop it from getting away? It was literally just hanging off the door barely. Well, the animal didn't see her.
32区画が終了。生存者の9割はガキどもだ。ブラティカは
学長は本当に知らなかったようだ。10年以上も前らしいからな。
分かった。あとはコンラッド艇長に任せよう。
中央制御室はどな
Okay, I thought the guy at the desk was gonna be Fox, but it seems like that's somebody that they shot and killed.
学長が殺されている。
That's it. Headmaster shot and killed.
第50区画および49区画の外壁誘拐率 37%。グラプ値が上昇開始します。
リベールの推進力なら脱出できる。
動かせるのか。
この教習艇をさっきも失敗したのに。
そうだ。たった14時間でフライトさせられるわけねえだろ。
でも他に方法が。
もっともだ。
嘘でしょ。
なんだ。
生命維持装置が最優先になってる。
え。
It seems like there's still active crew. Why aren't they communicating with the active crew even if the control room is out?
あれ作動しないぞこれ。
お前何すんだよ。
変なことやるから壊れたんだろ。
おいブルー、やっぱやばいんじゃないか。
As if that thing would have kept the ferret, like, in place.
こっちもダメか。バカ兄貴のせいで。
Fuck off. I hate Yuki already.
させなきゃ。置いてかないでよ。
この先に確かリフトがあった。
I wonder if this is gonna turn like in High School of the Dead, where like best friends turn on each other to survive.
なあ、え？さっきのやつ、コウジの弟なんだろ。
Oh, never mind. I guess they're not hiding it.
あんまり似てねえな。いいよあいつのことは。それよりあの時。ここもやばくなったんだ。このままじゃ閉じ込められちゃう。向こうだ。
Sorry, that camera pan, which is crazy for me. We could animate them turning, or we could just turn them.
放送 OK。
よし、わかった。
皆さん落ち着いて聞いてください。私は総戦火第2期生ツバイのユイリー・バハナです。今私たちのいるリーベデルタは非常事態に陥りました。これは訓練ではありません。純然たる事実です。現在リーベデルタは何者かに軌道を変更され降下し続けています。すでに底辺であるセンターピラーは既存し、第32区画の外壁を破壊。限界深度シア3まで残り14時間を切りました。時間がありません。皆さん直ちに中央にある教習艇リベールへ集まってください。繰り返します。
しまった。
回線が
Somebody cut it.
エマージェンシーに持っていかれました。
Because you got literal saboteurs working against you.
落ちてる。
At least they did what I was asking why they weren't doing the whole time, which is communicating.
放送聞いてなかったの？リーベデルタが海の中に沈んでるのよ。
このルートで脱出できる。
Pretty massive ship if that whole pan out thing was a.
くそ。こっちもダメだ。
It was like a scene out of the abyss.
無茶すんなよ。お前の言う通りにしただけだよ。は？ 今を考えろって言ったのはそっちでしょ。曲解するなよ。
I hope these two don't end up being enemies by the end, because that was a pretty good partnership right there.
Ryvius.
I almost thought he was going to shove him through, and then he wasn't going to get through.
Ryvius.
パッと心配しなくていい。落ち着いてみんなについていきなさい。リーベデルタでお父さん待っている。
Oh,
待っているからな。
中央に行けばいい
don't
んだ
give him a cute little backpack. The dude tried to escape naked. They're finally. It's like, why aren't the adults intervening into this?
諦めんなよ。分かってる。
I still think it's also crazy that there's like this whole
いけるかもしれない。
back alley gang in this place that's so expensive to go to.
何やってんだろう俺。ムカつくったら。
死にたい
Oh, hey, there we go. There's the nail in that coffin. He can see her. I thought if the ferret from before had seen her, that would have been a nail in the coffin, but, you know, if anyone could.
訓練通り足じゃなくて手を使って姿勢を保て。
はい。
I guess this also is going to answer how this becomes a Lord of the Flies scenario, because I assume most of the people are going to get off the ship, and the people who are on the ship, or people who couldn't get off the ship, are going to be trapped, lost in space, whatever. Though I don't know how they're going to get trapped if they're here.
確認を取る。こっちは頼む。
12時間でフライトさせるなんて不可能だ。
でも他に方法がありません。
しかし
すでにフェーズ2までクリアしています。やるしか。
私が責任を持ちます。
Yeah, I mean, what's your alternative? This? Okay, what is wrong with... Oh, what was her name? Fanry? Like, why was she just wandering like that?
ディガルトがちぎれました。もうダメです。軌道計算の変更。第2層まで誘拐してるんだ。間に合わねえよ。
お前たちでフライトまで行けるか。
はい。よし。私たちが時間を稼ぐ。
Alright.
残った全職員へ地球第6格納庫へ集まれ。センター周辺部のパージを敢行。リーベデルタに減速をかけつつ壁を作る。
待ってください。今出るなんて。
そんなことをしたら先生たちは。
Yeah, goodbye, Pat's dad.
責任ってものがあるんだ。お前たちもそのうちわかる。
Damn. That was a fucking line.
気絶してる人間が重いってのは本当だね。こんなスピードじゃ助けるんだ。今度こそ。けど遠回りしてるし、しかも置いてくってのか。見捨てねえぞ絶対に。分かってるよ。そんなこと言ってないだろ。じゃあ何が言いたかったんだよ。もっと楽に運ぶ方法がないかって。重力があるんだから仕方ないさ。
I don't know, this worked at Weekend at
コン
Bernie's.
テナ通路。方向が分からなくなったら終わりだ。分かってる。
Well, it's a shame the power's off, I guess. Otherwise, you could use the conveyor belt things.
どうない。心配しないの。勇気。
That's a bit damning, isn't it? That Yuki got here, and that they couldn't?
何やってんだよ。
Yuki just fucking left them for dead.
どうして一緒じゃないのよ。
こっちはこっちで用事があるんだよ。
どんな。
いいだろ別に。
兄弟のくせに。あんなんでもお兄さんじゃない。ちょっと冷たすぎない。
余計なお世話だよ。いなくなりゃいいんだ。あんなやつなんか。
Oh, what the fuck?
何やってんだか。
I mean, it was bad enough when he said, I gotta take care of things. He was just fucking sitting there on the edge, doing jack all. But then also leaving him behind and saying, oh, he'd be better off dead anyway. And these fucking heroes.
やっぱりこの先しかルートがない。なんとか開けられないか。俺にわかるわけないだろう。簡単に諦めるな。俺がいる。いいか行くぞ。3、2、1、ゴー。
I thought they were gonna blow up part of the ship to propel the thing upwards a bit. Right, they said they were gonna build a wall. They don't have to reduce the speed. Because they're not falling towards a gravity well, they're kind of falling away from one.
ツバイのユイリーバハナです。システム変更によって通信できなかったことをお詫びします。現在、リーベデルタはこのセンターピラーを残すのみとなりました。落下速度を落とすために周辺施設のパージを敢行したのです。我々は引き続き、これからリベールのフライトアプローチ作業を行います。大丈夫。私たちは助かります。そのためにも、皆さんに協力していただきたい。
Except that the closest ship coming for you is literally the saboteur's ship. Oh, hail the conquering heroes. I hope she doesn't turn out to be one of the bad guys, because that would be a real bitch. Oh, fuck off this guy. Sorry, subtitles, what were you trying to tell me there?
接触点の最終戦方法誤差を出せブラティカは逃さん
So it looks like they're intending to intercept the point where the ship is going to descend to. But what would be? I guess I don't understand what the Sea of Gadol does. I mean, I understand what it does. I don't understand the protections against it, because it seems like if they were already intending to intercept with it at level 3, which is where they said it would be in 14 hours, then what protects them from level 3? Like, if they made ships that can go through it, why didn't they make the space station that's built through it out of it? Also, again, they have the element of the fact that there's a whole, crew on board that's working against them, killing people.
ゲドルトの海原を越えようとフライト作業を続ける空中練習艇リベールだがブリッジに現れた2人の人物がその状況を一変させた見えない力に飲み込まれていく俺たちの気持ちが俺たちの思いが
Okay. Assumedly, the two people showing up on the bridge would be the saboteurs, because I don't know how many adults are left at this point. Obviously, everybody on the bridge would have been an adult, of which the two guys we saw got off after exchanging looks, and then pedaled down the hallway with a case of something, as I already mentioned. The teacher and the other people sacrificed themselves to purge the outside, to reduce the velocity, which I guess I still don't understand from a science aspect. Because obviously they're still within the bounds of Earth's gravity, and that gravity extends for a long distance. But the idea is that we've seen Earth, and I'm trying to camera this. Imagine this side of the screen would be Earth, right? And then the adult is doing this weird plane thing across the way, and then you have a station here, and the station is falling in this direction, away from the Earth, which is already weird because it should be falling like this instead of like this. I don't know. Maybe it's the way the art drew it. They did it in the art style. It's confusing me, but it seems like the station is falling away from Earth, and as though maybe the implication is that the Sea of Gadol has its own gravitational plane. Like maybe it's so thick with plasma or whatever that it has its own pole. Maybe that's why they call it a sea. Or that, or because it visually kind of looks like a sea, although it visually looks more like a nebula. I don't know. I don't know. I have to let the show world build that for me, I guess. Yeah, sorry, I was going on an adult list. We saw the 3 adults sacrifice their lives to try the thing I just mentioned. We don't know how many other adults there are, and the guys that are on side, sorry, get my brain together here. The guys that are inside are actively also killing people. The headmaster, I saw the guy's arm with the brown sleeve, and I thought, oh, maybe this is Fox. Maybe this is the guy they're specifically talking about getting out. And the guy's holding a gun. It's like, well, I don't know what that's about yet. And then immediately next scene, where I think, oh, maybe that guy's dead. And they say, oh no, the headmaster's dead. It's like, oh, shoot, okay. So they've set this place to fall into the adult, which would implicitly kill everyone, right? But they've also assassinated a guy, so I guess to make sure that even if somebody did survive, he would not be able to. Which implies even, is the whole thing to kill the headmaster and steal the Bratica? Because otherwise, maybe the headmaster would be able to save people in a way that they wanted to make sure it didn't happen. I don't know. That's just one of my questions now. Why did they go out of their way to kill the headmaster? Unless it's possible the headmaster knows them, in which case that's a tie between multiple characters, and they were afraid that he could out them, in which case communications might still be possible. They did imply that help would be coming, which would imply that they may have hailed somebody for help, or put out a distress call. I don't know. There is still so much. I was thinking for a moment this might have been one of those shows where episode 1 sets up a lot of questions, and then you get to episode 2, and your excitement level dips a little bit because we're no longer asking questions. We're in the action stages of things, but no, I'm still left with questions. And not like enough questions to be like, I don't understand what's going on. This is not, I'm left with enough questions about things that I understand are going on, which is great. I think that is I think that's a great way to handle things so far. Um, Obviously, I also appear to be losing my voice due to talking too much. Um, yeah, no, I really love it. The sacrifice of Pat's dad to help buy time for the kids, that's amazing. The concept that they have enough faith in their tier 2 navigator crew to even want to attempt to sacrifice their lives for them, equally amazing. Yuki is a fucking bastard. I I mean, implicitly, he was an asshole in the first episode. The whole dumping the girl and then trying to get into a fight with the moment they try to save people's lives. But now, where he's like, I got more important things to do than help save my brother, and he's just sitting on the ledge in anti-gravity, doing nothing. Hoping that his brother's dead, by the way. He said, we'd be better off if he just disappeared. What the fuck, man? I'm glad I had the foresight to put a red line between those two characters, because obviously. But yeah, no, I that bored. I don't know. I'm gonna make new colors. I'm gonna invent new colors to describe relationships between characters, because otherwise it's gonna be a lot of white lines, a lot of green lines, a lot of red lines, and I feel like there's too much nuance already happening between characters for that to stand. Anyway, I feel like I'm rambling now. It'll be better served if I take that rambling time, apply it to taking notes next time, and then hitting y'all with another 20-minute forward about what I think is going on in the show, and then heading to the next episode. So I think that is it for me for today. Once again, I've been Theta. This has been Infinite Ryvius. We've been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye bye.